You can't spell ignorant without IGN. Now, pardon my voice if my voice sounds a little bit weird. I just got back from my cough or anything. We're gonna react to an article from That Park Place. This is for a video game journalist called IGN. Back in the days, the IGN was the good source, but now, like Smash JT says, many of these journalists is no longer journalists, they're just activists. Nothing more. They don't care about the video game, they just want to push their agenda. Before we get ahead of ourselves, let's react to this article. It says here, former Kotaku and IGN editor calls for video game developers and publishers to condemn gamers for opposing woke ideology. This has come from Kate MacDonald, former Kotaku and IGN editor from the United Kingdom. Right, Englandar. MacDonald, who is now the video game editor at The Guardian, penned the article condemning gamers for opposing wokeness and DEI agenda present in many developers and publisher, called for these developers publisher to do the same. And she began her article by lying to her audience, claiming employees received tremendous amount of as what I expected to this, and of course, it is simply not true. The targeted harassment was initiated by Sweet Baby Inc. employee Chris Kendrick and Maya Kramer, who encouraged their followers to get the Steam curator list documented all their games worked on to be shut down. On top of that, Kendrick attempted to get Kaburu's Rambo entire Steam account shut down as well. Kaburu's Rambo is the creator of the list. Now we're gonna skip this a bit because I'm certain some of you know about this. I mean, you can pause the video if you want to read it. We're gonna skip a bit at the meat and the potato. MacDonald also bemoaned the fact that gamers oppose woke ideology, discovered that Sweet Baby Inc. was somehow mandating the inclusion of more diverse characters in games. She claimed the discovery was untrue. Actually, it is true. However, correct? They just answered my question. Well, you guys know about this. The company CEO Kim Belair made it abundantly clear his intention, or she, I don't know, this is a joke or something. The intention with the company is to change the entire industry. She told Inclusion FX back in 2021. In 2018, one of my best friends and I, we teamed up and we founded a company. The original desire was to write together. We want to write with just the two of us, a friend of ours. Well, and I said, I'm trying to read as best as I can. But we realized as a unit, we were capable of doing others what not been done to us, which was to support us, empower us, to lift us up, to value our talent, and to help build our skill. As of today, what we do is writing, narrative design, story building, story breaking as our first and foremost. On a secondary level, we work very hard to get marginalized talent into the industry, to protect them that we would want to protect, have been protected, to lift them up, to get them into the industry where they often shut out. No, they don't. Basically, I think to take over in the hopes that some really dope people will be able to lead into a kind of a new era of an industry that's kind of been, the same way for too long. What's the problem with it? Interestingly, MacDonald would rightfully point out that how terrible video game characters design have become, noting that those opposed wokeness rightfully took issues with female characters having square jaws, masculine bodies, that a number of game journalists took issues with Stellar Blade because the main character was too attractive. Unsurprisingly, MacDonald's attempt to twist the complaint to fit her false narrative, writing that journalists gave the recent PS5 game Stellar Blade, picture below, bad review because its female protagonist is too hot. Note, they didn't. The game has a Metacritic score of 81. Journalists indeed criticized the game for its attractiveness. One such article was published by IGN France, written by Ben Ossola. He wrote, design of the game, particularly its characters, highlights obvious bias. You're going to smash Alien, but if we can do it while pleasing these gentlemen, that's a bonus. And that result is not really a success, it's not new. Other games have chosen to highlight the strength of their female characters, but where Bayonetta stands out with an iconic character design, or 2B, inspires an entire generation of cosplay. E from Stellar Blade is just bland, sexualized doll by someone who would think, never seen, well, you guys know the picture. Sorry, I had to rehash that. The outlet eventually retracted. Well, you guys see this. Note, it reads, the original text was disrespectful. Well, you guys can see this. I'm certain you know that. From there, MacDonald moved to Assassin's Creed Shadow, where she writes, Ubisoft was somehow forced by shadowy forces of wokery to make main characters of its upcoming Assassin's Creed Black Samurai, contradicting historical evidence. Ubisoft embraced wokery though. The company has an entire section of website titled Diversity, Inclusion, and Accessibility. Underneath the section VP, Global Diversity and Inclusion, I can't even say that word. To create a video game, Ubisoft team around the world work together to push boundaries of what's been done before and build unforgettable experience for players. I don't think so. Screw you. The journey concept launch requires collaboration, passion, commitment. We learn as we go, trying and failing, trying again before we get it right. You're not even trying. Okay, you guys can read this. It's a lot to digest. I can't even read it. My God. Well, you guys can read this point. I'm gonna skip to the main part. An internal document leaked by X. Okay, there was a leak. First, we want to make it clear that we don't accept any harassment, hate, or other forms of abuse in any way. We are deeply saddened that see the negativity and hatred currently spreading to our co-workers' personal profiles on our partners and our partners' social media. We are proud to represent diversity and inclusion that exists in society, part of our everyday work. Representation is a part of our DNA. No. The document stating that Ubisoft firmly stands with diversity and inclusion in our workplace. Yeah, you're not gonna last very long, lad. Sorry, you had to skim through that. Nevertheless, McDonald goes on the claim. For the record, there's plenty of historical basis for the depiction of black samurai. No, there is none. To no one's surprise, she doesn't provide any evidence, which is true. These are video game journalists. They don't provide any evidence. Next, she chooses to defend former employer IGN and its reports on claiming Black Myth Wukong developer Game Science, which is based out of China, promotes sexism and misogyny. McDonald wrote, just at the Summer Game Fest finished, anti-woke gamers found a new target, a report at IGN, which credibly comprehensive lay out the history of sexism at the developer's upcoming Planet of the Apes meets Sekiro action game, Black Myth Wukong. The response, surprise, was to go after women who wrote it. Was also spinning out ludicrous conspiracy that IGN was blackmailing the developers, which, no. IGN was blackmailing the developers, not conspiracy theory, genius. Okay, I'm gonna skip through this a bit. From there, McDonald claims that gamers do not have the slightest impact on how games are made. We do, ding dong. One might need to ask former employee Volition's and Luminar's production if their company is still making games after they were shut down at the Saints Row and Forspoken. Why do you bring that up? Seriously, Englandar. Publishers and developers should definitely take her advice. No, they should not. So gamers will know which developers and publishers do indeed hate them, can choose to spend their money elsewhere. If games are being purchased, one can only imagine the studio will go way of Volition's and Luminous production. Okay, why do you say this? Why do you say take her advice and choose to spend money elsewhere? Overall, I have to say this one thing. Look, why do you say choose to do your money elsewhere? Take a look what Shudigawa would say. If you don't like the show, touch grass, turn on the TV. What happened after that? 2 million views gone. If you say that, the same thing is gonna happen. There are better ways, and the games are pretty diverse. The problem is, you woke idiot. I'm gonna say woke since any leftists who are watching this still thinks I don't know what woke means, which, FYI, I already know what it means, okay? That's one of the examples. What I showed you. And don't try to tell me it's not, okay? It is. And I will not pay attention to those people. Not even in my comments. We want good quality game. This is the reason why many Western gamers are now ditching their own games, or perhaps games made in the West, in favor of Eastern or Asian-made video games. Like Black Myth Wukong, which are now #1 in Steam's wishlist. I am probably certain PS5 or PSN Network is probably higher as well. So, what do you guys think about this? Leave a like and subscribe. Comment down below. What do you guys think? Also, if you want any gaming news or anything, you can visit my first channel up here.